week on the channel, we're going to be doing something a little bit different than what I normally do. We're going to be doing a full week reading vlog, but instead of reading books from our TBR, we're going to be reading blind dates with books. I have multiple options here that we are going to choose from. Here, I'll show you guys the book packaging before I destroy any of them. So this first one I got from a adult book fair that was happening in my area. She's just selling these little blind date with a book. They come with a lollipop, she has a pen, and then a bookmark that's like a reading list type bookmark, and then another bookmark to use when you're reading the book. I thought that was super cute. And with this particular one, you get a little information about the book. So it gives you the story graph, score, the publication year, and then if it's open or closed door, and then just a little blurb from it. And then these other two I actually got in a bundle from Etsy. So these come from the Limitless TBR, Blind Date with a Book. So for this one, I picked a fantasy option and then a queer contemporary romance option. So we'll see how these go. There's stickers, bookmarks, I think a little blurb thing. I think I'm going to go with the queer romance just because I haven't picked one up since Red, White, and Royal Blue. And I think that just feels like a good time. So let me go ahead and take the little stickers off and start looking at the little blurb. So this one was published in 2024. It has a 4.4 star on Goodreads, FF, sports romance, rivals to lovers, Mile High Club, and an indie author. Let's see which book this is. Okay, I'll let you guys see it first. Long Shot, a second chance sapphic romance. Interesting. By Kara Porter. So it's like Taylor Young was born a tennis prodigy, the daughter of one of the greatest players of all time. Her success is almost guaranteed. That is until underdog Mackenzie Bennett started rising in the ranks and threatened her position as the #1 player in women's tennis. Mackenzie Bennett worked for everything she's ever had, even the summer training camp she attended with prodigy Taylor Young. When their friendship turned sour after a love confession, Mac swore to destroy Taylor on and off the court. When these two former friends go head to head in the state's biggest Grand Slam, will they be able to stay professional, or will their resentment bubble and reignite a fire they denied for decades? Interesting. Okay, I'm super excited for this one. Oh, the text on it is huge. I don't know if you guys can see that super well. I think you can. But this text is massive. And I think it's dual POV. It's third person, but it is dual POV. So when the top of the chapter says Mac, you're getting something from Mackenzie's point of view, but it's third person. Oh well, that's okay. Oh, this is in an interconnected standalone series. I wonder what else Kara Porter has written. Interesting. Awesome. So this will be our first book, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and open the other two as I'm reading. So hopefully I can finish 3 books in a week. Nocticade took me a lot longer than I'd expected, so I'm really hoping to knock out 3 books in a week. We'll see how that goes, but I will get to reading and update you guys as we work through Long Shot. Hello. I was originally going to try to do a vlog style video for reading Long Shot by Kara Porter, which was my first blind date with a book of the week, but I ended up reading this in a single day. I literally couldn't put it down. It was so bingeable. I ran through it so quickly. Like I said, the font was really big on this one. So I feel like I was literally just breezing right through it. Like the description says, we are following a tennis kind of prodigy named Taylor and a new up-and-comer named Mackenzie. And they do have a past. They do have a little bit of a history. So it is a little bit of a second chance kind of vibe going on. But obviously, being professional athletes, there is a lot of their sport going on in it as well. It followed tennis a lot more than I expected it to. They're going through multiple different grand slams. So they're doing the French Open, Wimbledon, the US Open. And so they're going through all of those different tournaments and kind of how their relationship is affecting them as they're going through these tournaments, because they have to keep their relationship a bit of a secret since Taylor's mom does not approve of her being out. I feel like there was a really good, interesting dynamic between Taylor and her mother, as well as the coach of Mackenzie and Taylor's mom. So this one is, like I mentioned in the beginning, it's the third, I believe, in a book of interconnected standalones. Yes, third book in a set of interconnected standalones. And from what I could tell, we only see one other character from another interconnected standalone. I went on Goodreads and found the other, I think there's 4 or 5 books. I found the other books and only recognized one name. It's a photographer that ends up taking pictures of Mackenzie for some sponsorship deal that she's doing. And they kind of talk about what it's like to be, out in the kind of pro athlete space, in the videographer space, and kind of what their relationships mean to them. So overall, a great read. Gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Might bump it up if I'm being completely honest. It was really good. I'm going to see how well it stays with me, because it was a little cheesy in the end, a little bit cliche. But overall, I did really enjoy it. So I think we're going to be sticking with a 4.5. So now let's go ahead and take a peek at our other 2 options. So we have the fantasy blind date with a book from Limitless TBR. And then I also have a romance. I think I'm feeling the romance, if I'm being completely honest. I didn't really read the little blurb on it. I just let you know that there was a blurb. So this one says romance. Its story graph rating is 3.52 stars. It's open door and is published in 2022. And then this little blurb, I guess, is the excerpt from the back. And it says, my ex won't accept that it's over. He showed up at my divorcecation in New Orleans at a masquerade ball. Lucky for me, a tall, debonair man in a mask rescued me and swept me away. It was phenomenal. And yeah, I had a one-night stand, and I'd do it again. So I think we're gonna go with this one. I think I'm still in a romance mood over a fantasy mood. So let's go ahead and take all the little goodies out of the packaging. I feel like I tore up the last one super delicately and super pretty. And this one, I'm just going for it. Okay. I'm going to show you guys first. Okay. My Grumpy Billionaire. Interesting. A Grumpy Sunshine Romance. I already see from the back that this is going to be an accidental pregnancy trope, which I was not super excited to put on my TBR already this month. So to get a completely different one, very interesting. We'll see how this goes. Kind of wish that would have been on the front, because it wasn't really giving that vibe. But, oh well. I think this is part of a series. So let me see. Okay. Well, we'll give this a shot. We'll see how this goes. Not what I'd usually pick up, but I guess that's what a blind date with a book is for. So I'll try and update you more as I read this. I don't see myself flying through this one particularly quickly. So this is about the same length as Long Shot. We'll see how fast this one flies by, how quickly I work my way through this, but I will update you as there are updates to have. Do we like this better? I think I might like this better. Okay, new scenery, new background to y'all. This is my living room. That's my fireplace, right? That's my fireplace right there. This is a bookshelf where I keep all of my favorites. I have Fourth Wing and The Serpent and the Wings of Night series. So wanted to pop on really, really quickly and do an update for wanted to hop on and do a really quick update for our second blind date with a book, My Grumpy Billionaire. So I believe I'm about 75% of the way through. Yeah, so this actually is on Kindle Unlimited, so I've been doing a little bit of reading on my Kindle, if you couldn't tell from the little B-roll clip that I put in of me reading at the butt crack of dawn, because I got up at 7 a.m. for some reason and was wide awake. But so this book, we are following Sierra, and she's actually the CEO of the company that her grandma started. And so she goes to New Orleans to celebrate her divorce and ends up meeting our main male love interest, which is Griffin. And so her and Griffin meet, they hit it off, they have a great night, and she decides like that since she's celebrating her divorce, this is just going to be a one-time thing, and if fate wants them to be together, they'll find each other some other way. Well, here's the thing. Sierra's grandma was friends with his dad. So she goes to his like birthday party and runs into Griffin again, but doesn't realize it's him because they were wearing masks at this little masquerade party. And then again, Griffin teaches at the same college as Sierra's ex-husband, and some weird name mix-up gets him to her company with his econ class. It was originally supposed to be her ex-husband coming with his English class, but Griffin's econ class comes to analyze their data and do like a final presentation in like a real world business setting. And I thought that was like a super funny way to like make them run into each other again, just because like a college econ professor and a CEO, like that sounds kind of wild to like randomly run into each other. So they end up reconnecting. She kind of explains what's going on with her ex-husband, but she doesn't know that he's the guy from New Orleans, and he doesn't know that she's the girl from New Orleans. So they don't know who each other is like really at all. They just know of each other in the setting of this weird case study that they're doing for his econ class. And then he finds out about her ex-husband, and he like is like, okay, this is like scary, like your ex-husband's basically stalking you. I should live with you. I should stay with you. So it has a really good forced proximity trope in it because they are living together. And then as he discovers more and more about her, he decides to, like treat her, and like no one knows he comes from money. So like his dad is a famous director, his mom is a famous model. And so he lets everyone believe that he's just this like run of the mill, everyday econ professor. And he's definitely not. He has money. He takes her to Tokyo, which is super cute. So overall, we're having a really good time. Like I said, I have about 25% left in the book. I'm on chapter 52. The chapters are so short. I'm having so much fun because the chapters are really short. Just super sweet, short, to the point chapters. I'm also enjoying the side characters in this. There's a big like cast of characters from Griffin's side of the family because he has, I believe, 6 brothers. Yeah, his dad has like a ton of kids, so they're all kind of involved in this. Sierra has obviously her best friend, her like assistant. She has like all kinds of people that she's dealing with. So it's been really fun and interesting to see how things are playing out. I'm pretty excited to see where things go. Obviously, we know from the back of the book that Sierra's pregnant. So she just found out in the book. So she told Griffin things are going well. But they still haven't defined the relationship, which is the only thing that I'm finding kind of like lacking. Is like they end up getting in a fake dating situation because he's living with her. So they decide to fake date to like throw her ex-husband off her trail and like dissuade him from like pursuing her more. And like they haven't really done anything with the fake dating thing. Like they said they were going to fake date. And then he moves in and that's it. So yeah, very excited to see where things go with the relationship. I think I have like less than 100 pages. So very close to wrapping this up. I'm going to hopefully finish this during the day and then get into my next book for my blind date with a book. This is our last one. And I think I'm going to unwrap it now while I have you guys so I don't have to do my whole setup again in like 4 hours. So this one is our fantasy one. Super obsessed with all the little details on this, like the stickers, the little, what is that called? Wax seal, the little wax seal. I just think that's super cute. So we have published in 2020. Goodreads is a 3.86. It's a fantasy romance in a modern world with Norse mythology, elves and magic. It's enemies to lovers, dual POV, and an indie author, which we love. Okay, I like the feeling of the cover. It's like a matte cover, I think. No, it's kind of glossy. Oh well. Okay, I don't like the cover now that I'm looking at the cover. We don't like men on the covers. I'm so sorry. C.N. Crawford. That name sounds familiar. I feel like I've heard of another series she wrote. Cursed Prince. Yeah, he looks kind of cursed. He looks like he's made choices. That hair. Why is your collar? What's with the faux fur collar, buddy? I hope it's faux fur. But this is Night Elves Trilogy. I'm noticing birds on the cover. And if you know anything about me, you should know that I don't like birds. I don't think they have souls. I think they were sent to our planet to kill us. I don't like birds. I don't trust birds. Last year I read 3 different books where people turned into birds, and that was the plot. We're just out here turning into birds. Make that make sense. Okay. So the back of the book says, my heart hasn't beat in 1,000 years. I haven't uttered a word in prison, and the guards keep their distance. If they get too close, they die. Until at last, my magic binds my soul to another. Unfortunately, the person destined to save me is a night elf, the enemy of my kind. And yet, when I see her in the cell across from mine, an ember starts to burn in my chest. When we escape together down the palace walls, it's almost like I can feel again. As we journey to find the magic that will save us both, attraction simmers between us, but I keep my secrets close, because if she finds out what I am, she will find a way to kill me, even if it means sacrificing herself to do it. Okay, that sounds really good. Okay, yeah, I'm pretty excited. Not excited to start a new series, though. I should have asked for a standalone, but that's like my own fault. I should have said standalone. But I'm excited. I should see if this one's on Kindle Unlimited. Even though I have a perfectly good book here, but I don't want to pick it up and have that man look at me. But yeah. So thanks for joining me on my little lunch break to unbox or unwrap my next book. And I will go ahead and finish my Grumpy Billionaire. And I'll be back as soon as I start this bad boy and let you know my thoughts. Okay, so we have another angle of filming again. This is where we were last time with my fireplace and some of my other books. Here we have my book of the month shelf, but I just wanted to hop on real quick and do an update for Cursed Prince. So we have less than 100 pages. Yeah, I'm at 240. There's 300 and some odd pages in this book. So I want to do a quick check-in before I finish the last couple pages. So far, we really like it. I do sense what the twist is. I can feel it coming. So I'm pretty sure I know what the twist is, but I think it's done relatively well, besides the fact that it's just predictable. And I think that it's more predictable because I've read other books that do the twist that way, and not really because it's a bad twist, if that makes sense. Like, there's a bad twist and there's a predictable twist. Those are 2 different twists. So far, really just a predictable twist, but not bad. I think it's done pretty well. I think it's executed pretty well. I do like our main character, Allie. I wish we got a little bit more from her. I feel like she has one kind of personality trait, and that's just revenge, which I kind of understand. And she also really likes like modern day music, which I think is kind of hilarious. So this takes place 1,000 years after the fall of Earth, I guess. Earth kind of changes. It features Norse mythology. So they talk about Thor, they talk about Loki, they talk about Ragnarok, which, I mean, to me, that all just sounds like Avengers movies, which I'm not a big Avengers girl. So it sounds just like a lot of Avengers movie talk, but it actually like means something in their kind of world. So the world kind of fell 1,000 years ago, and our main character, Allie, like I said, her main thing is getting revenge. She's trying to find the person who is responsible for the collapse of the world and why her people, the night elves, are sequestered in darkness and having to kind of deal with the cave system where they kind of dwell, and get revenge on these high elves that are more, the people that are in charge. So like I said, we have like 50, 60 pages left. I'm going to knock these out and eat some pizza because I just got back from my nail appointment. So I'm going to try to knock these out and then give a final update and a final wrap up on all of the books that I've read this week. Okay, so here we are for the final wrap up. Bixby's going to help us do our wrap up today. So we have our 3 books that I've read throughout this week that were our blind dates with a book. So the first one that we had was Long Shot by Kara Porter. Ended up giving this one 4.5 stars. Really, really enjoyed it. It was a tennis romance between rivals. The next blind date with a book that we had was My Grumpy Billionaire by Nadia Lee. This one was like the ultimate potato chip book. Ended up giving it 4 stars. Really enjoyed the like banter that the main characters had and the kind of situations they got themselves in Wasn't super realistic, but was still a good time. And the last one that we read was Cursed Prince by C.N. Crawford. I realized that the reason I recognize the name is that she's one of the authors for that Avalon Tower series that I keep seeing people talking about. So that's why I recognize the name, but this is one of her more early series that she'd released a couple years back. Really ended up enjoying it. The ending did not go in exactly the direction I was expecting. Still pretty predictable with the twist, but the actual ending itself and how things are like shook out to set up for the next book, I'm very excited to pick up the next book in this series. I will be giving this one a 4.5 stars. I definitely felt slumpier going into the week, but now that it is Saturday, I've read 3 books in a week. I'm definitely feeling out of my slump, and I think that picking up books that would technically be a little bit outside of my comfort zone did help me get out of my reading slump kind of vibes. So that was super nice. I would count this as a very successful reading week. I'm glad that I ended up doing a couple of blind date with a books, just so that way I was able to pick up things that I wouldn't normally pick up, things that are a little bit outside of my comfort zone. So that was really nice. So I guess that kind of wraps up our video. I'll probably touch base on these books again in my monthly wrap up, but I probably won't dive too deep into what they are about. So that way we're not getting too repetitive. Can't forget our emoji. Let's do, I'm trying to think of what a good emoji between all, oh, okay, this is such a random tie-in, but it makes sense for the emoji that we're going to do. So both Cursed Prince and My Grumpy Billionaire referenced some like super old-timey opera singer. I can't remember what her name was. Let me look it up. Maria Callas. Yes. But it was just so random that both of those books mentioned the same like opera singer. Let's go ahead and do music notes. We'll just do music notes as our emoji since, like I said, that's so random. Like, what are the odds that 2 of our blind date with the books would mention the same opera singer? I thought that was wild. So yeah, we'll do music notes. That sounds fun. Yes, comment a music note emoji down below if you made it to the end of the video. And have a good rest of your day, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I need to take a picture to put on my Instagram story. Because once I unwrap the books, I can't take a picture of the books. They're unwrapped. And then I would know what the book is. I say okay a lot. Something I've learned editing all these videos, okay is 80% of my vocabulary. I don't know what words are. I almost said okay again. Okay, let's get this started. Oh, they're glue dots. That's why it's really good. It's glue dots. But I will get to read words. Kara's mom. Kara's the author. Yes, that's the right person. That's the right name. Lucky for me, a Taro. Love going to Tokyo. I've never been, but I would love it if a man took me with his money. I'm just a little trinket girl. I just like a good trinket, so I keep all the little trinkets I find. I struggle with the word Norse. Does anyone else struggle with that word? Oh, that was so loud. That was very scary and very loud. Look at the camera. Look up there. Blind date with a book. Blind dates with a book.